2.4, write linear equations. So here's a worksheet, let's just go through it. Write an equation, slope-intercept form for the line described. So slope of 3 passes through 0, -2. Now, anytime I see the words write an equation, that right there, I always think of this. I always use point slope form, because that's the equation maker for the most part. So I always think of that when I do write an equation. So slope of 3, that goes here. 0.0, -2. So here's my x1 and my y1. So that goes here and here. So if I had that, y minus -2 equals 3 x minus 0. So I get y plus 2, double negative, equals 3 times x. Now again, it specifically said slope-intercept form. If it didn't say that, I could stop here and be done. But it wants slope-intercept form. So that means slope-intercept form, for those that remember, is where y is by itself. So I gotta get y by itself. So let's subtract the 2 from both sides. Y equals 3x minus 2. So there you go. Now you can actually start in slope-intercept form if you want. You know slope is 3. You have to find the b, so you can plug the points 0 and -2 for x and y to find b. That also works. I'm always a fan of using point slope form though. Same thing here. So slope -2 passes through that. So I'm just gonna write my equation. Keep on messing that up. So here we go. Plug in what I know. So my x1 is -3, my y1 is 14. So I'll get this, so I rewrite it. Plus 3, double negative right there. And then we distribute. So y minus 14 equals -2x minus 6. Now you want to get y by itself, so again, did say put in slope-intercept form, so we're just going to add the 14 over. So y equals -2x plus 8. And there we go. So 16. Each week, Carmen, earns a base pay of $15 plus 17 for every pamphlet that she delivers. Write an equation that can be used to find how much Carmen earns each week. How much would she earn the week that she delivers 300 pamphlets? I hate Carmen already. So we run an equation. So we're going to put slope-intercept form. So your base pay is your initial amount, right? No matter what, you get paid the same amount. That's my initial. My starting value. So that's my B, my initial amount. My y-intercept. And then my plus for every pamphlet. For every pamphlet means per pamphlet. So this is going to be my M. That's my rate. So I get paid 17 cents per pamphlet I deliver. So that's going to be this guy right here. So it'll be 0.17 plus 15. So my equation would be y equals 0.17 x plus 15. Now if you want, you can change the variables around, right? She earning week that she delivers pamphlets. So it could be like earnings equals 0.17 per pamphlet plus 15, but that's all cosmetic. It doesn't matter. So any way you want to do it. How much would she earn the week? So there's my equation. I guess I'll use the fancy one. How much would she earn the week that she delivers 300 pamphlets? So I'm delivering 300 pamphlets. So I'm going to earn 0.17 times 300 plus 15. So 300 times 17, 100 times 17 is 17. 17 times 3, 21. So 51 plus 15. So that gave me 66. So $66. That's she earned for delivering 300 pamphlets. Okay, write an equation for the line that has to do the following pair point. So this is why I prefer slope-intercept form. Right, so point slope form. So write an equation. I always do point slope form. So there we go. I gotta plug in what I know. So here, let's say we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, I'm missing something. I have x1, y1. Heck, if you want to use x2, y2, that works here too. You don't ever plug in for x and y. That's going to be part of my equation. So it's only you plug in for x1 and y1, or 7 for x1, y1. I don't have my slope, but I have 2 points. So I can find the slope. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find m. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 6 minus -6. And then 4 minus -2. double negatives all over the place. So 12 over 6, so 2. My slope is 2. Now again, does not matter if you want to plug in x1, y1 or x2, y2. Does not matter. You get the exact same answer when all said is done. So I'll plug in x1, y1, so I'll keep it all straight. Double negatives, I get y plus 6 equals 2 x plus 2. Now notice it didn't say put in slope-intercept form, so I could stop there. That is an equation. Just to show you, if I want to put slope-intercept form, it would be like this, right? Just simplify it down. And then subtract the 6 from both sides. So I get y equals 2x minus 2. And if I would have plugged in 4, 6, I'll get the exact same answer once it's in slope-intercept form. The one right here, same idea, right? Here's x1, y1, x2, y2. I have to find my slope first, so I'm just a little faster. So I get 15 over 11. That's ugly. Actually, wait. Over 5. My writing was so bad. So I get 3. It's much better. And then just plug into the formula. My m is 3. x1, y1. Let's use that. No need to be fancy about it. So y plus 5 equals 3. X plus 8. Again, did not say put in slope-intercept form, so I am good. Write equation in slope-intercept form for the line that satisfies a given condition. Pass it through that and perpendicular to this. So again, anytime I write an equation, I'm automatically doing this, putting that point slope form down. And they tell me that it passes through 4, 2. So there's my x1, y1. That's 4 and that's 2. Perpendicular to this. So you got to think, right? What does perpendicular mean? That means negative reciprocal slopes. So my slope here is this guy, right? It's in slope-intercept form. So my slope here is negative 2. So my perpendicular slope will be negative reciprocal. So flip it, change the sign. 1/2. So I get this like that. In this case, they did want me to put in slope-intercept form because they're jerks. So I got distribute. I get y minus 2 equals 1/2 x. 1/2 times 4 is 2. And then add 2 to both sides to get the y by itself. I get y equals, these cancel, 1/2 x. So there I go. Pass it through negative 6, and parallel to y equals 4/3. So same idea, right? I see we're writing an equation, I think this. They already give me a point, so here's x1, y1. So negative 6 and negative 6. It's parallel to this guy, and then parallel means same slope. So if my slope here is 4/3, remember slope is just the number. So I'm gonna have the exact, my parallel slope is gonna be the same. So 4/3. It's me doing parallel. M1's parallel is M2. So 4/3. So y plus 6 equals 4/3. X plus 6, double negatives everywhere again. Now again, they did want a slope-intercept form, so I do got to distribute. So I get y plus 6 equals 4/3 plus now 4/3 times 6. Right, so if you want to multiply the top, you get 24 over 3, which is 8. Or you could cross reduce. Either way is fine. And again, I get a y for the x. You gotta get y by itself, so subtract 6 from both sides. So I get y equals 4/3 x plus 2. Next one, Julio buys a car for $5,900. Monthly expenses for the car, which include insurance, maintenance, and gas, average $180 per month. Write an equation that represents the total cost of buying and owning a car. So they want to know the total cost of buying and owning a car. So I wrote an equation, right? I equals mx plus b. What's my initial amount? Well, my initial amount was $5,900. And then how much the cost per month? That's my rate. What's my rate per month? $180. So that goes there. So here's my total cost of owning the car, or that car specifically, would be that for X months. So there we go. Write an equation slope intercept form for each graph. So I know I say write an equation, I always say do this. This way works. Not sure if I do one of them this way also. But when you have a graph, the easiest way to write an equation is generally y equals mx plus b. Right, slope intercept form. Because in this case, the y-intercept is readily available. So if I was going to do this one using slope intercept form, I already know what the y-intercept is. I could see it on the graph. It's 2. Done. All I gotta do now is find the slope. And we talked about that earlier in this paper. How do you find a slope? You find 2 points that cross nicely. So like here and here. And you do rise over run, or do the slope equation the way it works. We gotta go down 2 and over. Oh wow! So we're counted by 2. So I went down 4, and I went over from 8 to 0. So I went over 8. So my slope would be negative 4 over 8, which is negative 1/2. So that goes here. And there's my equation. So the easiest way to do an equation when you have a graph, when you have a linear equation when you have a graph, is to do slope intercept form. Because you already have the y-intercept. You generally have the y-intercept. So that's the easiest way. You could also do it the other way though. That way still works. Right? What's my slope? Well, we just figured out it's a negative 1/2. And now, how do I get a point? Well, you have a graph. Pick any point you want. I would always pick the one that has 0 in it. It's easier. So this is 0, 2. So 0 and 2. So you get y minus 2 equals negative 1/2. X minus 0 is x. Right? Put a slope intercept form. Add a 2 to both sides. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. So same answer either way. Generally, have a linear graph though. The easiest way to do it's this way. That's why I'm doing it here also. So what's my y-intercept? Right there. Negative 2. All I gotta do is find my slope. So find 2 points, like this guy and this guy. Go down and across. It looks like I'll go from negative 2, negative 5 to negative 3. And went across 2. So my slope would be negative 3 over 2. That's an m. So there we go. Boom. Right, so I don't care which way you do it. But when you have a line, it's usually easier to do y equals mx plus b, because most of the time you have a y-intercept, so that goes there. Then you just got to find the slope. So pick 2 points, find the slope any way you want to find the slope. If you feel more comfortable, you can do it this way. That way still works. Next question. The equation y equals 55 times 23 minus x can be used to model a number of words y you have to type after x minutes. That was a lot of things going on right there, sorry. So words you type is y, and it takes x minutes to type them. So minutes, words. Write this equation slope intercept form. So we gotta simplify it. So y equals 55 times 23, which is 1265, and then 55 times negative x is negative 55x. I guess technically slope intercept form should be y front, so I mean x before the constant. So there we go. So that's my equation slope intercept form. Then find slope in the y-intercept. Well, the slope would be the thing next to the x, so negative coefficient of the x, and the y-intercept would be the constant. Alright, so slope is the thing next to the x, or the coefficient of the x, and then the constant there, the thing with no variable. Find the number of words you have to type after. You could type after 20 minutes. So plug in sub in 20. So 0, 1, 1, plus 1265. So I get 165. So there we go. So 165 words. That is not fast. Oh, how many words left to type? Okay, whew, left to type. That's different. Last one, 35, recruiting. As an Army recruiter, Mrs. Cooper is paid a daily salary plus commission. When she recruits 10 people, she earns $100. When she recruits 14 people, she earns $120. Write a linear equation model situation. So they want a linear equation. So I always think this. I think linear equation. Now what's going on here though, they don't give me an initial value. It's not like the last one where they gave me an initial value and they gave me a slope. This time they just give me two relations. So I have people and how much she earns. People, how much she earns. So let's say people is X and what she earns is Y. So this would be like X1, Y1 and X2, Y2. So I have like 2 points. I have 10 and 100 and 14 and 120. So how to fill an equation like this? Well, I gotta find my slope. So let's find the slope. So right, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So 120 minus 100 over 14 minus 10. So 20 over 4, which is 5. If I was to look at my units, this is earnings over people. So she makes $5 per person, basically. That's what it's saying. So $5 per person. So every person she recruits makes $5. So that's my rate. And then I need x1, y1. So remember, anyone you want, I just like to use x1, y1. So 10 and 100. So I get y minus 100 equals 5 x minus 10. Distribute. I guess I already have a linear equation, but I'm going to put in a slope intercept form just because it's so easier to do things. I'm going to add 100. I think it'll be easier to solve the rest of the problems if I put in slope intercept form. So like that. So put in slope intercept form because it's a lot easier for problems to figure out what's going on. So there's my linear equation. What is Mrs. Cooper's daily salary? So what does she get paid no matter what? So that's her initial value. So that is 50. And then if she recruits nobody, she gets $50. That's her daily salary. How much would Mrs. Cooper earn in a day if she recruits 20 people? So we sub in 20. So I'm gonna get 100 plus 50, so $150. So she'll make $150 if she recruits 20 people. Anyway, that's the lesson.